Hey friends, continuing the discussion on getting into a Chromebook, I just want to do some comparisons here to my Dell laptop i5 processor. This thing is running pretty fast. It's 16 gigabytes of RAM. That's the focus today on this video is what is RAM and how much do we need? Well, my Dell laptop here has got 16 gigabytes of RAM. But I put Linux on everything. This came with Windows 10, and that went out the window in about 2 weeks. I run Linux Mint. Linux deals with RAM a lot better than Windows, and there's a great article here from Android Central that I'm posting a link in the comments section about how much RAM do you need in a Chromebook. But this article goes into depth about RAM in particular and how Chromebooks are built on Chrome OS, which is built on Linux, much the same as Android, guys, is built on the Linux kernel. And actually, the most impressive piece of tech that I have, and probably most of you can attest to this as well, is our cell phones. This phone right here, 1.4 gigahertz processor. I've got 1.5 gigabytes of RAM. That's random access memory. So the gigahertz refers to the speed of the processor, and RAM refers to the memory allocation for apps as they're running. This does not have to do with SD card storage or files or photos or videos. People often get that confused as far as storage memory compared to random access memories, which is what your processor needs to, think of it like short-term memory in our brain. Like, we have to remember things on a minute-to-minute basis, but they may not be things that we're going to remember the next day or the next year even. But they're things that we need to survive in the short term or short-term memory. That's what random access memory, if I can draw an analogy, basically is to the processor of a computer. These Chromebooks really don't need a heck of a lot of random access memory or RAM because, one, they're built on the Linux kernel. Secondly, it's a browser-centric operating system, so you're going to be storing most everything in the cloud. Well, either you have a SD card, which is cool for storing files. 4 gigabytes of RAM as of the date of this video is more than sufficient for most of us who are online, browsing, doing some gaming, Google Drive, spreadsheets, watching YouTube, Netflix videos. This Chromebook 11.6-inch, 4 gigabytes of RAM on the Samsung site is $220. 16 gigabytes of internal storage, and it's running a Celeron 1.6 up to 2.48. That's a burst mode. My laptop's running an Intel i5 at 1.7 and 2.7 burst modes. So what I'm getting around to saying is that this Samsung Chromebook is on par with my Dell laptop, which is, a beautiful laptop. So that's pretty interesting. You don't really need to go more than that. Again, my phone is running 1.4 gigahertz processor and 1.5 gigabytes of RAM, and that's mostly more than on eBay. $125, man, free shipping. And the specs and the best values you've picked up recently, please post those in the comments section. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks for subscribing to my channel and sharing it with your friends. I really appreciate you guys, and we're getting ready for the 4th of July weekend, so I hope everybody has a safe, happy 4th. Have a great day.